Hi everybody. The question of the day, recaps or reset? Which one's it gonna be? My name's Kevin. I'm a solo driver for Crete Carrier. You're watching the joy of trucking. And we want to talk about that 70-hour clock today. For those of you who don't know what that is, in truck driving, we've got several different clocks that are on the hours of service, which you'll see on your ELD while you're working. You've got your 8-hour clock, so during the day you've got to take a 30-minute break somewhere in that 8 hours. But it's a 14-hour work day, so you've got that 14-hour clock going. And then there's your 11-hour clock, which is the hours that you can drive in one day. So even though it's a 14-hour day you could work, you can only drive 11 of those hours. Now overall, there's the 70-hour clock, which is for 8 days. So you're allowed to work those 70 hours in an 8-day period. And that's everything you're doing. The driving, loading, fueling, unloading, maintenance inspections, paperwork, all that stuff. You're on duty, so your 70-hour clock is ticking. When you go to sleep or you go off duty for something, the 70-hour clock stops. Now suppose you want to just get as much out of your day as you can, drive all those 11 hours, cram in as much as you can. You're gonna find that that 70-hour clock runs down to 0 on day 7, maybe day 6. Maybe you've had a couple of days where appointments were weird, you didn't have to work as hard. You might even run out of that 70 hours like right at the beginning of day 8. In order to set that clock back so you get all 70 hours again, you have to stop for 34 hours. Off duty, not working, truck not moving, nothing. After 34 hours, it all cancels out and you can start all over again. And I like to do it that way. I like to run hard every day, and I like to have that one day off. Even though I'm on the road, I'm somewhere way out in the middle of nowhere, I'm sitting at a truck stop or something, I just relax. I don't have to get up at 4 a.m. and get moving by 5:30. I don't have to be hunting for a place to stop and a place to sleep tonight and doing all. I can prepare food. I can go buy food. I can take a walk. I can relax. I can look at the sights. I can get some exercise. It's that one day to kind of get your head back on after all the stress of pushing so hard all week. But some guys have a different outlook on things. You know, maybe you don't want to sit for a day while you're so far from home, so you want to space things out. So you work all 8 days, and then on day 9 what happens is you're not going to do a reset for 34 hours. You're going to pick up the hours you worked on day 1, and it comes up, and that's what you get today. So let's say you worked 8 hours a day for 8 days in a row. That's 64 hours. So maybe you even got in a couple of days where it was 10 hours here or 9 hours there. Day 8, you're down to the last hour of your 70-hour clock. You wake up the next morning, suddenly you've got 8 hours back. You can just keep going, keep doing it the way you were last week, and carry on that way. You never get a day off, but you don't have to get going so early. You finish earlier in the day, you get a good parking space before everybody else rolls in at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. You can have a good dinner, you can watch some TV or go do some laundry. It's another way of living life, right? Maybe it's more enjoyable. It's an easier pace. It's not as stressful. But you have to make sure that your manager or your dispatcher knows that's what you want to do. If they hand you a load and they'll tell you it's 600 miles and it's got to be there tomorrow morning, you're not going to just go 8 hours and then say, well, too bad. You know, I might get it there tomorrow night at the rate I'm going. You got to tell them this is how you want to do it, and these are the loads you want, and they'll get used to that, and they know that's how you want to be assigned. And they know I want to run as hard as I can. They say they can keep you moving like 500 miles a day. I'm shooting for 6 more if I can. 600 miles I can do in 10 hours. So if I'm going 11 hours, I'm going to squeeze a few more in there. And that's the way I like to run every day, because like I said, I like that day off. So I hope you understand how it works. I hope I explained it well. And I want to hear from you how you do it. Sometimes it's not even up to you. Sometimes it's just the way you get the loads. It happened to us last week. I was doing my 11 hours a day driving thing, and then suddenly I got some loads with late appointments, and I got there, but I couldn't actually go to the customer and get them to unload me until like 10 o'clock the next day. So we're like, okay, we're just gonna chill, take our time. So today maybe we only did 8 hours, and then the next load we picked up was kind of the same thing, you know, like some of these customers just will not take you early. So I made it there, and then we had to like wait. So we had another short day, and by the time day 8 rolled around, I still hadn't used my 70 hours. So the next 4 or 5 days we were on recaps, and then we got home. So there was no undoing it at that point. Everything's working out that way anyway. So we actually had a nice easy run down to home, which was unusual because usually I push hard every single day. So sometimes it's not even up to you, but let your dispatcher know which one you prefer, and they can tailor the loads to it. So give us a thumbs up. Hope you got something out of this. Hope I hear from you. Put some comments down below and tell me how you do it. Recaps or reset. And hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. We're going to see you down the road. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for watching, and please remember, if you decide to drive for Crete Carrier, Hunt, or Schaefer and our videos have been helpful to you, please do give them our referral code SLOKEV, SLOKEV. We would be very, very grateful. Okay, have a great day. With love from Kevin and Tanya and the girls. Bye.